Hello, everyone. Welcome to MUPO and Friends.
We are Jessilyn Persson.
And I'm Michele MUPO.
We're brought to you by MUPO TV.
And you can catch all our shows at www.mupoentertainment.com.
And you can live chat with us every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel during the premiere of each episode.
So tune in Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Who knows? If you come in on the chat, you may be able to talk to a celebrity. And believe me, they've told us things that no one has ever told. They've never said it on any other shows before, but they do open up to us at MUPO and Friends.
They sure do. Thank you for tuning into our show where we love bringing you awesome celebrities and entrepreneurs you want to know. So Michele, have you had a MUPO awesome week?
I did have a MUPO awesome week. Obviously, we're moving forward with MUPO, and we have shows coming on board that I was really surprised. We're really blessed right now.
100%. I am super excited with some of the people we've onboarded recently, some that people will know once they see them live. So that's really exciting.
Yes. So did you have a MUPO awesome week?
I sure did. It's always awesome when I can get out for a date night with my husband, considering we have two little guys.
Nice. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back with our special guest.
You thought I was playing? Huh.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to MUPO and Friends. Our special guest today is a model, actress, spokesperson, longevity expert, author, singer, and songwriter. She was the first woman to be featured in Esquire magazine, and she's acted in everything from classic TV like Dynasty and Three's Company to cult classics like the film Chained Heat and the miniseries V, The Final Battle. Please welcome Greta Blackburn. Hi, Greta. How are you?
Hi, Greta.
Hi, I want to clarify the Esquire thing. I was the first woman to be in lingerie in Esquire.
Ooh.
That was when it was all men. We don't want any broads in here. And yeah, it was a big lingerie spread. So this was before Victoria's Secret. I was the original Victoria's something. I don't know what it is. I wasn't the secret. I was something else. Victoria's dirty little lie.
Awesome. I like the fact that you said little lie there, but we're going to get into the questions because we know you're on a time frame. So when you began your career in modeling as a teenager, did it seem overwhelming or did you wind up just jumping in it because you are a natural?
Oh, thank you so much. Well, first of all, I didn't really, I did start modeling as a teenager. I have a hair here. That's what I'm not picking a fly off my face. I have a hair in it. I did some modeling in my hometown of Fort Wayne, Indiana, very little for a local clothing store. I was one of these skinny pimply kids that in Indiana that wasn't considered cool. And then I moved to New York and I went from being the nerd to people stopping me on the street and going, hey, you should be in our modeling agency. I'm like, oh, okay. So, I mean, I'm going to say it came naturally to me because I'd always been an actor. I took acting lessons at the age of 3. So that was kind of inborn in me and bred in me, developed in me, nurture, nature, whatever that stuff is. So yeah, it came fairly easy. It was fun. I liked it. So yeah, I wasn't one of these. I worked with women who had mixed emotions about it. And it's like, what are you talking about? This is fun. We're having a ball. We're getting paid. Don't be silly. So yeah.
So did you have body image issues growing up?
No, I did not. I loved that I was thin. It was just I lived in a place where they had issues with my body because where I come from, they like people a little chunkier and they're always like, you need to put some weight on. You need to, and I'm like, no, I don't. So no, I did not have body issues. I had a little bit of a body issue about my height for a minute because other than Anna Raditz, who was always taller than me all through school. Hi, Anna, if you're watching. I was, taller than the guys. They called me Wilt the Stilt. So I had a little bit of a height thing, but not much and only for a minute.
So the social perception of body image basically changed over the years, right?
Well, that changed. And yeah, it's just wherever you live, people have different ideas of what's considered attractive and all that stuff. So just in my era where I lived in the Midwest, it was all sort of corn-fed and a little more Zoftig than I am, a little more Rubenesque, we'll say. But my personal aesthetic was always more towards, I liked being skinny.
So we mentioned this earlier, but you were the first woman to be featured in Esquire in a lingerie shoot. Why was it controversial?
It was controversial because at that time it was a total, like, this is a dude's magazine. This is men's stuff. We're not Playboy. We're not, and I don't know all the reasons. I'm guessing a little bit, but it just hadn't really been done. And their editorial sort of ethos wasn't that. So it was pretty cool.
Awesome. So why is Bloomies on 59th your happy place forever?
Oh,
I heard
God.
about it.
Yeah. Well, when I first moved to New York as a kid from Indiana, I'm going to acting school and modeling, and it was always the place that the makeup department at Bloomies, and any woman out there who lived in New York in the 70s and 80s and even now will tell you the makeup department at Bloomies is so fun. It's just happening, it's going, it's doing, and it was always so glamorous. I came from Indiana. They had cool stuff. I had got a pair of earrings. I can remember now. They were called, the brand was Kirk's Folly. I think they're still around. They were dangly, fabulous, gaudy earrings. You could only get at Bloomies. It just has a lot of happy memories for me.
So how did you get involved with Wally Boyko and become the editor of Miss Fitness?
So I had, I'll make this as short as I can. I had done a story on Vince Gironda, the Iron Guru, because he had a lot of celebrities training at his gym in Studio City. John Schneider from Dukes of Hazzard. I was there. Denzel Washington was there. I mean, Vince had trained Arnold and everybody. And Vince was getting ready to turn 80. And his gym was kind of not as popular as it had been. And I thought, I loved Vince. We were such good friends. I'm like, he needs to have a current article done. He's got all these hot Hollywood people. He needs some press. So I put together an article. There was a great photographer, Randy St. Nicholas. I got the actors together. I said, let's do a story on Vince. I pitched it to a publisher in Canada, Robert Kennedy, who ran the story in his magazine. And then out of nowhere, a guy in Pennsylvania named Dave Kirk said, hey, I'm doing this magazine called Natural Body and Fitness. Why don't you be the editor? I said, okay. That magazine kind of went under. Wally Boyko was inventing the fitness genre. In fact, his book is coming out about how he basically invented the women's fitness genre. It was either big bodybuilders or nothing. So Wally interviewed 5 people and said, tell me what you would do with my signature magazine, my eponymous magazine, Ms. Fitness. So we all presented our ideas and he hired me. So that's how I became. It came out of what, it's funny because you look at the world and you go, what goes around comes around, pay it forward. You always get more than you give, blah, blah, blah. So when people say, well, you don't have a degree in journalism, it's like, no, I don't. But it was out of my love for Vince Gironda and everything he was about in that gym and wanting to promote him that I ended up becoming a magazine editor. Now I had a journalism background, but not a degree, blah, blah, blah.
Well, we definitely have to get you on board with our magazine, my Lord. So tell us.
Wait, when I get jacked up when I'm talking about stuff, if I start talking too fast, somebody just go like this, like zip it or slow down or something.
Oh no, I'm Italian. We're used to that.
Oh, okay. I'm fine. I'm slow compared to you. Okay.
But we're on the East Coast. So the East Coast is always more fast than the West Coast.
That's why I love the East Coast. Hello. Sorry, West Coast. But you're sleeping. You're at the beach asleep and we're working.
Awesome. That's
Sorry.
I have to.
Sorry, not sorry.
I agree the same thing. Now, I want to know about the backstory on the song Unfair Advantage.
Oh, I bet you do. I bet you do. I bet you do. That is on my list. Having a bitch kitty club meeting tonight. We'll talk about that in a minute. And our topic tonight is clean shit up and bring the heat. And that song, everything I do originally is kind of theatrical and sort of, and very much autobiographical. So that obviously came from an episode of my own. I'm not going to talk about it too much because this is a situation that is going to come to light, bring the heat, clean shit up, because it's way in the past, but it's still gnawing at me. And that will be revealed, but that is based pretty much what you see in that video is pretty much what happened in life. That's
Right
what
on.
I'll say. Pretty much
And
what happened.
all right. So we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back with Greta Blackburn.
Welcome back to MUPO and Friends with Greta Blackburn. So Greta, you woke up with the lyrics to Unfair Advantage in your head. Is that the usual way a song comes to you, or is it another process?
Oh, it's so funny you asked that. I was just talking to my niece. Yeah, we were talking. We texted and then we talked an hour ago. And she's a very talented performer and a musician. And we were talking about, she was saying, you know how that time just before you go to sleep where you're kind of asleep and kind of not, and lyrics come to you? I go, no, actually, that's not how it happens with me. It happens to me in the middle of the night or just when I'm waking up. I wake up and it's in my head. It's literally in my head. So it really happened that way. Yeah. So for me, a lot of them, it's usually a moment of inspiration. It can be after a workout when the endorphins are flowing. That's a good one too. But my stuff, if I go to bed thinking that I need an answer and I kind of imagine what the question is, typically I'll wake up with the answer.
Wow.
And you filmed one of your music videos in an actual prison. What was that like?
Well, no, we did Chained Heat. Chained Heat was a movie shot in an actual
Okay.
prison. Yeah. Did I do a music video in a prison? I forget what I do. No, I didn't do a music video in a prison, but we did shoot the movie Chained Heat in an actual, the Lincoln Heights jail in Los Angeles.
What was that like?
Well, it was interesting. It definitely didn't hurt you getting in character, being in an actual jail. That was very helpful and useful. It was fun. It was just, that was just a really fun shoot. It was such a campy movie. And I was just off the boat from New York, where I'd come out, where I'd been mostly modeling and going to acting school, and then got shipped out to LA to do a pilot for NBC, and got that movie. And it was just like, woohoo, I'm doing a woman behind bars flick. Cool. Hand me my shiv. And they did. And we started shooting.
Excellent. Excellent.
So you did a seminar, Music is the Key of DNA. Can you tell us something about that?
Music in the Key of DNA. The theory being, I wrote a book on telomere biology, the immortality edge, and these things called the telomeres dictate when you get sick and die, basically, in a nutshell. One of the things, the most powerful thing for keeping your telomeres from shortening and sustaining the length that you have and slowing down shortening is to de-stress. People always go, oh, is it this supplement or is it stems? No, it's de-stress. Pray, meditate, de-stress. Or, my theory, music in specific keys that will put you in your brain in the same kind of state as a meditative state, hence keeping your telomeres, keeping your health intact. So music in a key that actually, and in a genre that actually relaxes, de-stresses you, and hence extends your life.
Interesting.
Well, you also have a glamorous mother. Did she give you any beauty tips as a young woman?
Oh God. Yeah, my mom was a model before anybody was a model. And she was, she used to order clothes out of Vogue magazine, have them shipped to Indiana. Very glamorous. When I went out with my parents as a kid, they thought she was Liz Taylor. They thought my dad was Robert Young. That was pretty fun.
Wow.
Always. Yeah. I mean, my mom was like the beauty in the family by far. Sorry, sister, but true. She was all about beauty, 20 bottles of nail polish, hair gizmos before they even had hair gizmos, fashion. But tips per se, I'll tell you what I'll call this a tip. What drove my mom nuts when I would come home from visiting Indiana from New York, and here I am, I'm a model, I'm an actress and everything, and I would be no makeup, jeans, looking like a slob, and she'd be, oh God, can't you just dress up? Can't you just look like a model? So her big thing was actually not a tip, it was an anti-tip. It was like, get dressed up, put some makeup on, make me proud. You look like a dog, so that was a thorn in her side, because I was like, I don't want to put the dog and pony show on. I just want to relax, and she wanted her model daughter to look like a model daughter. So I disappointed her in that way.
Uh, so what is the kitty club and what does it take to be a bitch kitty?
Ooh, well, I tell you right now, you guys are born bitch kitties. So I'm telling you right now,
Right on.
I'm getting the read. I'm getting the read. So the Bitch Kitty Club was a brainstorm of mine. Now I invented fitness boot camps, and that seems like a bold claim. Like, oh yeah, you invented it. Well, go back, look in the archives, look around. 1990, there was Marines, boot camp. There was Navy SEALs training. There was the Golden Door where they give you like a lemongrass. I always joke a lemongrass douche and a powder puff. But it's like, it was like a real fluffy place. You weren't getting a workout, kids. Let's be serious. So I invented fitness boot camps. That's all I'll say right now. I came up with an idea when I wonder if I can keep everybody alive. I wonder if anybody will show up. And lo and behold, they did. And I did. And it was. So having done that, primarily to bring really what we now call mind body stuff to women. I would think I'm so lucky. I'm from Indiana, but I've been out in the world and I've been exposed to all this great technology. I had done the EST training, Werner Erhard. I mean, I'm a big fan of his. They called us EST holes back then. Probably still do. But I wanted to bring some of that technology. I'd done a thing called the 6-day where you went off in the mountains and you had to jump, you had to do a zip line and then you had to do this and that. And like it changed. You had to jump off a phone pole. And I was like, I want to bring this technology to people in Kansas and Idaho and Iowa, women like me who didn't go to New York, who don't go to LA, who don't have access to this kind of stuff right now. Then it wasn't so easy to find a zip line. I'll lure them in with the promise of a better butt, and then we'll throw them off a phone pole and change their lives. So that was how the fit camps came about. Now, today, segueing to answer your question, bitch kitties. So today, anybody who walks in a gym and touches a barbell is a fitness expert. Okay, I'm a trainer, give me some money and let's do some bicep curls. Been there, done that. However, women who are now coming out of either they've raised their families and they're empty nesters, or they've had a career, but it's like, oh, is that all there is? I made the bucks, but I'm not really feeling that groovy. People who are women who are at a turning point, who need a little uts, who need a little support, who want fellow-minded, like-minded women. Women after a certain age, and for every woman, it's a different one. Their authenticity filter gets huge, and their bullshit meter gets equally huge. And you really can't tolerate bullshit, and you really need authenticity. So the Bitch Kitty Club is for women who know that they're wild and wise. They know that they're still hot. They're not 22 and they don't want to be 22, but they want to have like-minded women to go, let's do this, let's do that. Let's have a talk once a week. We have kitties on a call. We have a whole curriculum that I developed. And again, developed boot camps. Now we're bitch kitties. So it came out of my desire to do what I had done with the fit camps, which is take women, shake them up, go, let's get after this. And that's how it happened. And I found immediately, I did a little post on Facebook. I go, hey, are there any bitch kitties out there? Something like that. And I had women raising their hands all over the world. I'm a bitch kitty. Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are. So that's how it started. We will have a live event in Vegas a year from October.
Wow, that's incredible. I'm glad to hear that. I too am a fan of Werner Erhard and have some of his training as well. So I get.
You probably did it though. You did Landmark Forum.
I did.
Yeah, well, I did EST and I said, this is it. And then they did Landmark Forum and I was pissed off. Like, wait, I thought EST was it. I thought the 6-day was it. But then I did the whole forum curriculum. And I love Werner. I love his, Tony Robbins is, all these guys today.
Yes.
They're Werner guys. They went to Werner's seminars and they learned their spiels and did their particular thing on it. So there, Werner, wherever you are, we still love you.
Yes.
We need him today. We need Werners today. Big time. Big.
I agree. All right. We're going to take a commercial break and we'll be right back.
we're back with the amazing Greta Blackburn. Now, Greta, can you please tell us a little bit more about telomeres and how you actually become the telomere diva?
Oh, that is such a, you know what? This is a good bitch kitty story. I'm gonna say where the bones are buried. So here's the deal. I'm out there in the world. I'm the zeitgeist queen. My thing has always been, people go, how did you know to do that? How did you know to do fit camps? It's like, I have a sense for what the next big thing, whatever I'm about to be excited about, the world in 5 years will go, of course, this is the best. From spinning, Johnny G, when he was in a gym in LA called Matrix, and he's like, hey, mate, I'm doing this thing, and can you help me market it? Well, it became spinning. Oscar de la Hoya's Oscar de la Hoya. And my first fit camps were up at 10 Goose Boxing Camp. The girls were in the ring with Oscar and Riddick Bowe. And they're like, who are these guys? I go, where do you show your husband at home the photos of what you're doing here? They'll know who it is. And I'd get letters going, oh my God, my husband's dying. So I smell things before, when they're in the air and they're just about to happen. So I've always been interested in health and wellness, even, all during the acting stuff and all that. I was at Vince's gym. I'm exploring things. I'm seeing things like spinning. I'm seeing Billy Blanks with Tybo. He was in a parking lot at a celebrity event, invited him out to live on my couch for 6 months, set him up there, et cetera, et cetera. So now but just like everybody's a trainer now, oh, I touched a weight, I'm a trainer. So everybody's an anti-aging expert, right? Except everybody's not an anti-aging expert. So I'm in my gynecologist's office. I'm in the stirrups. Okay. Connie's right there between my legs, just like I'm looking at myself on the screen, except it's my gyno. Hey, Connie. She's like, I go, her brother Edmund is a very accomplished physician in LA. I go, how's Edmund doing? She goes, oh, Edmund doing great. She's Chinese, pardon my bad Chinese accent, but she does have an accent. And I love you, Connie. He's having a big conference tomorrow in Palm Springs. Lots of guys, experts in all the fields. I go, well, what? Tell me what? Because he's always on top of things. Turns out it's a conference of top guys from the University of Texas, Woody Wright and Jerry Shea. They're stem cell and telomere experts, and they're going to be at a conference in like 1 or 2 days out in Palm Springs. I call a friend in New York. I go, instead of backing that lunatic doctor that you're going to back in a Medi Spa, get your ass out to Palm Springs. You need to be at this conference. So he flew out. We went to the conference. It was about stem cells and telomeres. And that's how it all began. That gentleman went on to go to the Geron Corporation and get some licenses. And he created a product that he goes, you got to come to New York and help me launch this. It's a telomerase activator. I got deep in the field and I'm like, people need to know about these. So it was my nosy nose. It was going to the gyno. That's how I got into telomeres, because of a trip to the gyno. But in short, what telomeres are, the end caps where all the DNA is. If you think, and scientists hate this description, but I'm going to use it. So an aglet is on a shoestring, the plastic thing that keeps the shoestring together. And when the aglet degrades, it's not so easy to loop it through the holes, right? Because your aglet's off. So telomeres can be compared to a protective cap over the DNA. And over time, with age, with stress, with too many drugs, this is a hydration drink, but we'll pretend like it's vodka. And it will be great. I promised you. So over time, they degrade, and that is the cause of every disease, of death. You can have your telomeres measured, and a doctor can look at it and go, you got about 5 years to live. They're a real predictor of death.
Wow.
So you want to keep them long. You want to slow the shortening down. You want to do everything you can. So that's what a telomere is in short. And how I got into it again was a trip to the gynecologist. So girls, do not ignore your pap smears. You never know what's going to come out of that exam.
Wow. Yeah, because I'm on supplements from a company that, it's based off your DNA.
I saw that Euphoria.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Listen, the bottom line with any of this stuff is experiential. If you're getting results and if your biomarkers are improving and I always suggest people get measurements so they know what's happening in their body, as opposed to, I feel the wind, I feel the rain, I feel the sun. It's like, get things measured, metrics, but good on you, girl. You're cutting edge.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk about this later, but I want to know what you see with MUPO. That's going to be the next thing, because
I got to put my crystal ball on that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
MUPO. I see. Uh-huh.
We'll
Okay.
definitely come back to that.
Happily, yeah.
Awesome. So you became friends with Betty Davis after meeting
Yes.
on a plane.
Yes.
Very
Can you
cool.
give us any pearls of wisdom you got from her?
Well, my dear, men think that we can't live without that thing between their legs. Well, my dear, we can. That's one that I remember very vividly.
Wow.
We met on a plane. It was in the days when there was the bar upstairs on TWA, flying from New York to LA. And everybody on the plane was like, oh my God, that's Betty. Oh my God, that's Betty. You know, but they were terrified, you know. So she's up there knocking one back. And I walked upstairs and sat down. I go, you know, everybody on the plane is terrified to talk to you and they're dying to talk to you. And she said, oh, let's just talk. Let's just have a chat. So we ended up becoming friends. I'd go to her house for dinner. We'd do things. We hung out for a while. It was a lot of fun. Had I been a mercenary little bitch kitty, I would have had a tape recorder out because I heard some tales. Woohoo! Howard Hughes, etc. Anyway, she was a lot of fun and exactly in person, if not more so than on screen. And I'll tell you one other thing for performers out there, and this is from Betty Davis, because the night before my 30th birthday, I was getting ready to shoot a movie and I had dinner with her and I go, what am I going to do? I'm turning 30 tomorrow. She said, my dear, the best years of a woman's life are between 30 and 50. You're just at the beginning. And she also said that at the end of every project, Betty Davis, that last day of shooting, finally knew how she should play the role in which she could start over. And after every job was sure she would never work again. So.
Wow. Wow. So you said Yellowbeard was your best acting experience. Can you elaborate on that?
It's fun. Come on, the funniest people on earth in one place on earth for weeks on end. How could that not be fun? The Monty Python crew, that Bowie came to visit the set. I mean, actually Jagger came to visit the set because Bowie was, anyway, it was wild. It was fun. I had some Mexican politician chasing me. It was crazy coming to my room. I probably would have been dead if I'd have let him in. But anyway, it was just fun and creative and wacky and a blast. And James Mason, man, that was, doing scenes with him was like going to acting school for 5 years because what he did in character was just, there were no gimmicks. There wasn't, I'm not even going to call it technique. There was just become the character. Take a
Amen.
breath, step on set and just be the character. It was unbelievable.
Wow. So when did you realize that it was time to pivot out of acting, at least for a while?
You're so funny because one of the bitch kitty premises is knowing when to purr, when to pounce, and when to pivot. We'll discuss later. Here's when I knew, and it's funny you asked that because it was one moment in time. I was married at the time, husband number one. I'm in LA. I had done a nude scene in 48 hours. Yes, we know all the jokes. Guys going, I freeze framed the scene. I'm like, oh, that's endearing. I love hearing that. But anyway, so I'd done a nude scene. So now I was getting typecast. I was that. I get a call. There was a show on TV called Silk Stockings. It's shot in San Diego. My agent calls and go, they're offering top of show. You're the guest star. You're a doctor's wife who's a nymphomaniac, and he catches you in the hot tub with his best friend. And there is a scene where you get out of the hot tub and you're walking away from camera and it is nude. And I went, tell them to hire a playmate. Goodbye. No insult to playmates. But I hung up the phone. I said to my actor, I go, I can't do this anymore. It's like, I mean, at that time I was in like my 40s, I'm going to say, and I'm like, I'm going to do it. It's like, let them hire a playmate. I'm an actor. I'm a person. I don't want to just be the nymphomaniac wife until I'm too old to be the nymphomaniac wife. Although I don't think you're ever too old to be the nymphomaniac wife. Note to self. Note to self. Remember that for the next marriage. But I just said, I can't do this. This is like, I can't. And about that time was when this guy, Dave Kirk at Natural Body and Fitness, was saying, I want you to be the editor. And I had been saying, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I called him. I go, I know what it means. I'll do it. I literally pivoted out of that one job offer. And it was right when showbiz was beginning to get funky. And a lot of women were saying, I'm done with this crap, or the phone wasn't ringing. And so it was perfect timing. And that's how it happened. It was a real timing thing. It was literally in that moment, I had an option and I decided to pivot and go for and pounce on it. Bitch kitties pounce.
Awesome. Now you had a one-woman show, Greta Than Ever, right? Can you tell us about that, and then also tell us about your up-and-coming projects as well?
Yeah, well, the one woman show, and we were just getting that off the ground when you know what hit the big C, not the other C, the big C. Basically me just letting the fur fly, hats, wigs, a screen I'd step behind, glasses, you know, it was like my version of like Cher, but now. Songs that I like, campy reworks of songs. I did a Halloween show where some of the signature songs were Children's Day at the Morgue. That was fun. And there's the Hearst song. A lot of songs you've never heard of like those. But me just being me and going out in the audience and annoying people and calling them on their stuff and having a lot of fun. Hopefully the audience did too. So, yeah.
Beautiful. And we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with the conclusion of our interview with Greta Blackburn. With the conclusion of Greta Blackburn, who is amazing.
Before we wrap things up,
I wear myself out. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. It's exhausting being me. It's like I'm head banging. I'm like, who knows? You never know. Anyway,
I'm a headbanger. All right.
So before we wrap things up, we have one last question. If you were to interview yourself, what question would you ask?
Ooh, oh God. Truthfully, and this is now we're getting heavy, but really looking at me, I would say, what regrets do you have? Because I always say there's a famous John Barrymore, my favorite quote, John Barrymore, and it says, "You're not old until regrets take the place of dreams." And I so believe that. And I always could say, you do what you do at the time that you do it. And it's all for the good. But there are a couple of, as an interviewer, I would ask that. And I could honestly say there's a couple of moments in time. Would I change things? Yeah, but that would affect the future. So I don't know. But there are moments that I go, man, I would so play that differently now. And I'll call that a regret.
Awesome. Thank you. It's been a treat visiting with you. Look for Greta in 48 Hours, Yellowbeard, and the miniseries V, The Final Battle on Amazon Prime, and find her music videos on YouTube. You can follow, like, and subscribe to Greta on Facebook under Greta Blackburn, at Greta B Music on Instagram, Twitter, at Greta Blackburn on her YouTube channel under Greta Blackburn, and at her website, www.Gretablackburn.com. As always, thank you for tuning into MUPO&FRIENDS, courtesy of MUPO TV. You can watch this show and others at www.mupoentertainment.com. That's www.mupoentertainment.com. This is Jessilyn Persson with our host, Michele MUPO. Until next time,
have a MUPO awesome week.